Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara. Welcome to a new video. I make content about holistic self-love, and in this video we're going to talk about manifestation, and more specifically where it all begins, crafting your wish list, getting clarity on the things that you would like to manifest. It may sound simple, but you'd be surprised how many people don't know what they want. People are complaining about their current life circumstances and just complaining about what they don't have. But when you ask them, what do you want? People are like, So to get that clarity, there is a kind of process you can do. And I wanted to talk about this because the other day, actually, I was going through some photos, and actually on December 31st, on New Year's Eve, 2024, I made a wish list, and I made a wish list of the things I wanted to call in, and another list of the things I was letting go of. And just before or just after midnight, I threw them into the sea, into the Mediterranean Sea. And it's the first time I actually looked at it again. This is almost, 6 months after they were thrown in the sea yesterday, the 1st of July. And I was like, ooh, let's see. And it was so interesting because about most of the letting go list is about 75% complete. And the manifestation of what I wanted to call in is about halfway through, which is not bad considering that half of the year has gone by. But over the years, what has helped me the most in terms of my manifestation processes has been just making that wish list. And sometimes when I'm cleaning up and I come across these lists, I'm thinking, got that, got that, got that. And there was no other process involved. It was just literally getting clarity on the list and then putting it away. But I used to make a kind of ritual out of making the list. I would go to a nice cafe, a nice hotel. I would get a nice notebook as well. Sometimes I would go to the sea, the beach, and just look out on the horizon and just think about what are those things that are going to make me feel more alive and bring more satisfaction, fulfillment to my life. So that is one method that I was doing. However, if you want to get a bit more clarity, something else which can be very helpful is actually looking at the wheel of life. And this is a tool that many coaches use, and there are different versions of them. It's like a circle, a wheel, and divided into 8 parts. And so these parts can be, for example, health, relationships, money, career, things like that. And you can actually score these different areas of your life. And that's where you're going to see where the lack is, where the gaps are, and where the parts of your life that may need to be worked on. In my book, Orgasmic Manifestation, I also have a chapter 4, which is all about how to gain clarity on what you want and how to create that wish list. And in my technique, which I'm just super proud of, this has got nothing to do with, the O method is actually using your orgasmic energy to manifest, but this actually making the wish list has got nothing to do with orgasm as itself on its own. It can be whatever method you want later, but the first port of call has to be getting clarity on what you want. So in that wish list, or here in my book, I talk about the self-help industry being all about health, wealth and happiness, and I give some very common examples of things that people want, such as love, a new home, or financial stability, healthy family dynamics, opportunities for travel, inner peace, reduced stress, improved strength and flexibility. That's relating to health. We always take for granted health, actually, but when you don't have it, you really notice it. So it's good to always have something health related on your list, to have extra vitality or something like that. So in my book, in my method, I do talk about starting small, having things on your list that are relatively achievable and within reach, and something you want to manifest relatively soon as well, not something that you want in 5 years from now, because your 5-year plan can change over time, and probably most of the time it does change, because you don't know if you're going to want the same things 5 years from now. So it's always good to think about, what do I want now or in the relatively near future to actually enhance my life and feel that aliveness and fulfillment that you need to feel better. So that's where a good place to start. However, the other day I was talking to someone who I interviewed for my podcast, and they were talking about, dream big, dream big. But I think you can try that as well. But I think it's good to kind of start with smaller, achievable goals, and then see them manifest, and then you gain confidence celebrating these small victories, and that can help you start to imagine bigger, better things. Because if you imagine something too big, maybe you are going to block that and think, maybe your subconscious is thinking, I'll never have that, that's impossible. So that's just one method, of course. So it's really a good idea to get this, but in my actual wish list there is a mix of bigger goals and smaller goals as well, and goals that don't really have, let's say, an end point. Sometimes they can be goals that are just all about growth, really. So it's super interesting anyway. So gaining clarity on that wish list is super important. So I think you can just get some paper, take some time for yourself, and start thinking about what are the things that are going to bring more aliveness to my life in all of these different areas of life. And you can go to town on it. Maybe you can edit the list later on, but think about those things that are really going to bring you joy. The next step after creating the initial list would be to actually look at what is the emotion behind the desire. For example, let's say someone wants a house. Wanting a house can have very different intentions. For some people it can be an investment, it can bring some kind of financial stability which is going to help you feel secure inside. Or for other people, let's say, who are in a relationship and they're going to live with their partner, it could mean greater commitment and having a life plan with someone, greater love and purpose in your personal life, creating a family, etc. So, and even let's say if you wanted a sports car, for some people it could be an ego thing. I'm going to look how successful I am. That's not, I wouldn't say that was a great intention to have. But for other people it could be, I'm going to show the world that it's possible, that I worked really hard from zero to have this great achievement or this great kind of financial milestone in my career, or career or whatever. So a car or even a home or even a relationship can have different intentions. So it's good to have clarity on what the intention behind it is, what the emotion behind it is, because maybe the thing you desire might not be the best way to actually create that feeling inside, because it all comes down to feelings at the end of the day. We're trying to create a feeling of being satiated, of fulfillment and joy and happiness. So it's about thinking about those things that are going to spark those emotions within you. So on the surface level, it might not be what you think it is. Also, something that brings aliveness can be travel, but I don't think it's a good intention to say, oh, I want to have a really good Instagram. It has to be something like, oh, I want to discover new cultures, or I want to feel that aliveness of just having the perspective of being in a different place. That's something that is very personal to me anyway. So those are the methods of creating your wish list. And then in my book, if you're interested in orgasmic manifestation, after creating that wish list, then I turn the wishes into what? Into affirmations, which is another way to kind of keep the ball rolling. Because when you get clarity on the things you want, you can do so many things with those particular desires. You can have visualizations, you can do journaling, you can have create affirmations with your own voice, and of course you can practice the O method, which is actually going viral right now on social media. So if you're interested in my book about orgasmic manifestation, check out the link in the description below. And I hope you find this useful about getting clarity on what you want. Another thing I would suggest as well is to do this list on a new moon if you're into the lunar cycles. The new moon is all about setting intentions, whereas the full moon is about letting go of things that no longer serve you. It's really exciting. I used to be really into the full moon because obviously it's a beautiful thing. It looks beautiful in the sky. But now I'm understanding a bit more about the lunar energies. I'm more excited about new moon, even though there's no moon in the sky that night. But it's all about new beginnings. And it's more empowering than, let's say, New Year's resolutions, which are kind of unattainable because by February most people have kind of given up. But doing an assessment on your life every month with the lunar cycle, such as new moon, new intentions, and then full moon, letting go of the things that are kind of blocking you from getting the things you want, can be a more attainable approach to get this clarity on creating the life that you desire. Yeah, so let us know what is working for you in terms of manifestation. Do you know what you want? And if you have any techniques to help you decide what you want, please share with us in the comments below. And there we have it. That's another video, and please check out my book if you want to. I've been manifesting some incredible things lately and can't wait to share more. I've become a kind of power manifester, which is super incredible. And something that's really exciting as well for me is that I've started to manifest things kind of quickly. It's been I have something very juicy to share with you that I might share in a few videos time once the thing is kind of a bit more solid, let's say. Anyway, that's it for today. Check out my video, or my book below, and also I have a newsletter. I'm giving away a free life upgrade meditation with 100 powerful affirmations that correspond to the 12 areas on the inner wheel of life, such as health, relationships, what else? Money. What else do we need? Yeah, all of those things. So check that out in the comments below. It's a 16-minute track, very empowering, very powerful, and giving it away for free. So if you want to have a copy of that, check it out, and then you'll be on my super newsletter. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Mwah! Happy manifesting.